Every year, you go to work, you earn a paycheck, and before that money even hits your bank account, the government takes its cut. But right now, there are people worth hundreds of millions of dollars who paid less in federal income taxes last year than a public school teacher. This is not because they are breaking the law. It is not because they are stuffing cash into suitcases and hiding it on a secret island. It is because they understand a fundamental truth about the financial system. The tax code is not just a list of rules about what you owe, it is a blueprint, and that blueprint was written by people with money, for people with money. The ultra-wealthy do not build wealth using the conventional financial advice handed down to the middle class. They do not rely on earned income, they do not save their money in traditional bank accounts, and they certainly do not sell their assets to pay for their lifestyle. They use alternative finance strategies to legally minimize their tax liabilities and compound their wealth over generations. Today, we are going to open that playbook. I am going to show you the exact tax secrets billionaires use to protect their money. More importantly, I am going to show you how everyday people can implement these exact same strategies to build their own stealth wealth. The biggest trap the middle class falls into is relying on earned income. You trade your time for dollars. The problem with earned income is that it is the most heavily taxed money in the world. When you get a raise, your tax burden goes up. When you work overtime, the government takes a larger share. Conventional wisdom tells you to work hard, save a portion of your heavily taxed income in a traditional bank account earning a fraction of a percent, and maybe put some money into a 401k, where it will be taxed later. If you want to buy a house or a car, you have to go to a bank, beg for a loan, and pay them interest for the next 30 years. The wealthy operate in a completely different reality. They shift from a consumer mindset to an owner mindset. They do not want earned income, they want assets. Assets are things like real estate, business interests, and stocks that appreciate in value over time. And under the current tax code, as long as you do not sell an asset, you do not owe any taxes on the growth of that asset. This simple difference, focusing on acquiring appreciating assets rather than increasing earned income, is the foundation of every billionaire tax secret. The most powerful wealth-building framework used by the ultra-rich is a three-step strategy commonly known as buy, borrow, die. This strategy allows them to access millions of dollars in cash to fund their lavish lifestyles without ever triggering a taxable event. Step 1 is buy. The wealthy acquire assets that go up in value over time. Let's say a billionaire buys shares in a private company, or a portfolio of real estate. Over a decade, the value of those assets skyrockets. If they sold those assets to get cash, they would be hit with massive capital gains taxes. So, they simply do not sell. They hold the assets, allowing their wealth to compound completely tax-deferred. Step 2 is borrow. When the billionaire wants to buy a new yacht or invest in a new business, they do not sell their stock. Instead, they walk into a bank and pledge their massive asset portfolio as collateral for a loan. Because the loan is secured by highly valuable assets, the bank gives them a rock-bottom interest rate. Here is the secret: borrowed money is not income. The IRS does not tax loans. The billionaire gets a massive injection of tax-free cash to live on, while their original assets stay exactly where they are, continuing to grow in value. The growth of the assets outpaces the low interest rate on the loan, meaning they are actually getting richer while spending borrowed money. Step 3 is die. This sounds grim, but it is the ultimate tax loophole. When the billionaire eventually passes away, they leave their assets to their heirs. Under current tax law, those assets receive what is called a step-up in basis. This means the value of the assets is reset to their market value on the day the billionaire died. All of the capital gains that accumulated over their lifetime are completely wiped out. The heirs inherit the assets tax-free, pay off the original bank loans, and keep the massive remaining fortune. The buy, borrow, die strategy is incredibly powerful, but what if you want to bypass traditional banks altogether? The ultra-wealthy have a strategy for this too. It is called the infinite banking concept, or becoming your own banker. Instead of putting their cash reserves in a regular checking account, the wealthy use specially designed dividend-paying whole life insurance policies. These are not the standard life insurance policies you see advertised on television. These are highly engineered financial vehicles designed to maximize cash accumulation. When you overfund one of these policies, the extra money builds up as cash value. This cash value is guaranteed to grow, and it grows completely tax-deferred. Here is where it becomes a banking system. When you need money for an investment, a real estate deal, or a major purchase, you do not withdraw the cash from the policy. Instead, you take a private loan from the insurance company, using your cash value as collateral. Because you are borrowing against your own money, there are no credit checks and no loan officers asking what the money is for. You set the repayment schedule. But the true magic is this. While you are using the borrowed money out in the real world, your entire cash value balance inside the policy continues to compound and earn dividends as if you had never touched it. Your money is working in two places at the exact same time. Another strategy you see constantly in the news is the Billionaire Charitable Foundation. The media praises the ultra-wealthy for giving away their fortunes, but this philanthropy is often a highly calculated tax strategy. When a wealthy family donates heavily appreciated assets, like stock, to their own private foundation, they get an immediate massive tax deduction. Furthermore, because the stock was donated rather than sold, no one ever pays capital gains tax on the growth of that stock. But the family does not actually lose control of the money. The foundation is managed by family members, who can even draw salaries from it. The foundation invests the money, allowing it to grow tax-free, and the family gets to dictate exactly which causes and projects receive the funding. They secure the tax breaks, avoid the capital gains, and maintain total control over how their wealth shapes the world. You might be thinking that these strategies only work if you have hundreds of millions of dollars, but that is the biggest myth the financial industry wants you to believe. The scale may be different, but the mechanics are exactly the same for the middle class. You can execute the buy phase of the strategy by shifting your focus away from saving cash and toward acquiring assets. Buy index funds, real estate, or invest in a small business. The goal is to hold these assets long-term to benefit from tax-deferred compound growth. For the borrow phase, you do not need a private banker. If you own a home equity line of credit, or HELOC, allows you to borrow against the appreciating value of your house tax-free. If you have a brokerage account, many institutions offer a securities-backed line of credit, allowing you to borrow against your stocks without selling them. And if you want to utilize the philanthropy loophole, you do not need to hire lawyers to build a private foundation. You can open a donor-advised fund with a standard brokerage firm for a few $1,000s. You can donate appreciated assets, take the immediate tax deduction to lower your income tax burden for the year, and then decide how to distribute the money to charities over time. Understanding these strategies is only the first step. Building wealth requires action. Here is how you can start implementing the Billionaire Playbook today. First, audit your income. Look at how much of your money is coming from heavily taxed earned income versus how much is coming from assets. Make a plan to redirect a percentage of your earned income into acquiring assets that you never intend to sell. Second, stop automatically selling assets to fund major purchases. The next time you need capital, look at your borrowing options. Compare the cost of an asset-backed loan against the capital gains taxes you would pay if you sold your investments. Keep your money compounding. Third, investigate the infinite banking concept. Research independent financial professionals who specialize in designing high cash value, dividend-paying whole life insurance policies. Begin treating your capital as a pool of resources that you control, rather than money you surrender to a traditional bank. The divide between the ultra-wealthy and the middle class is not just about the amount of money they have, it is about the rules they play by. The wealthy understand that the tax code rewards those who own assets, utilize strategic debt, and maintain control of their capital. You do not have to accept the conventional financial advice that keeps the middle class trapped in a cycle of high taxes and slow growth. By adopting an owner mindset and leveraging these alternative finance strategies, you can begin to build and protect your wealth on your own terms. If you found these strategies valuable and want to continue uncovering the financial tactics the ultra-wealthy use to build generational wealth, hit the subscribe button. We will continue to break down complex financial concepts into actionable steps you can use to achieve true financial independence.